And meeting with them. That's a good one.
I didn't know somebody down there.
They will show up there.
Okay,
There'll be a little thing.
What's that?
And you can just talk to them at any time.
okay.
All you have to do is say
We're just-
any questions and they.
Oh, cool.
But until you hit recording pause, anything you
I
say,
know everybody
recorded.
originally had
So
a-
even if the meeting is adjourned, if you haven't hit recording pause,
Is this just for the group or is there somebody remotely?
somebody can, but
Well,
there's
we-
nobody
yeah,
on.
We offer it in person and Zoom.
Okay.
Because it's a public meeting. So you gotta.
But I don't think anybody's on it, but still, like he said, we're being recorded, so. Let's talk nice.
You know,
Uh,
it's nice.
Okay, call to order at, 5 o'clock. Somebody want to take notes?
No, but I will.
Thank you, Judy.
Public comments? I think, Sergey, you're, actually considered public right now because the Board of Selectmen, didn't seat you as a new member yet. We will at the next, if you'll agree to, putting up with us, we'll seat
That's
you
why I'm here.
officially at the next meeting, the next, Selectmen meeting. Minutes, I think, did she leave, do we have a copy of those?
I never got minutes. Were they online?
Okay, so we,
Stable one.
yeah, can we get a motion to table that?
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Uh. Recommendations of new members. Sergey. Do you know everybody here? Lee,
Most of the people,
Steve,
yeah.
Lee Baldwin, Tim Downs, you know him,
Dusty Glass.
Chris Kinsella.
Now I'm back.
And you know, Steve.
Yeah, let me just introduce myself.
Okay.
Who I am. I'm a retired industrial designer. I started out in engineering and that wasn't going so well. So after a stint in the army, I decided to change to industrial design. And the reason I did that was I wanted to design cars. However, I didn't plan this quite well. Nobody makes cars in Connecticut and I didn't learn the ways. I wound up designing everything but cars.
But
And
you
I-
play with cars.
I play with cars and that's sort of how I wound up in Falls Village because I used to race at Glamrock. And when we started thinking about a retirement home, we started looking in the area. So we bought the old Foster place on Belden Street.
Yep.
And that's been a love-hate relationship.
One of the
I
oldest
love the
houses in Falls
location,
Village.
I hate the house. And that's pretty much it. We're sort of the new folks in town. We've only been here 20 years.
Okay, well, our committee here is charged with, overseeing or trying to, identify infrastructure that is in need of attention and, put together sort of a plan on that, and we, and how we're gonna, you know, how we're gonna take care of that. We put together a list of town-owned infrastructure, and I'm sure it's not everything, but it's everything that we thought of there right off the bat. So that's kind of a work in progress. I guess the other recommended new member would be Jake Peterson. And,
He said he was gonna come, but maybe.
He
get
may
here
show
late
up.
or
okay,
We forgot about it.
I don't think we necessarily need to run them through the committee, do we, if,
There needs to be a motion here to recommend this fine young gentleman
Mhm.
to our,
okay,
to be recommended to the Board of Selectmen for appointment to the Infrastructure Committee. So being
So
an
I-
ex officio member, someone else needs to make that.
So I make a recommendation that Sergio should be part of the committee.
Second.
Do we do both at the same
Well,
time or
yeah,
wait for
can we-
Jake?
Can we include Jake? I mean, if he,
You can include Jake, but
Has
we have to
anybody-
take them one at a time.
Yeah, wait on
Okay.
Jake, he wants to see what we're all about first.
So
Okay.
perhaps Jake isn't,
He wants to check out our
Okay.
meeting first.
so we'll hold on to him till the next.
okay,
So Dusty, you made the motion and Steve seconded?
Chris,
Chris seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay, so your name will go in front of the Board of Selectmen, and I don't think that'll have a problem.
No.
Uh, okay, I put on here, there's a letter that we got from, Department of Transportation, I'll just read it quickly. Dear Selectman Barger, the subject is the bridge inspection reports for local structures in town of Canaan. The Department of Transportation has completed the biennial bridge inspection activities of town of Canaan, which maintains 5 bridges in the National Bridge Inventory. The condition ratings of the structures are as follows. Cobble Road over the Hollenbeck is a poor, Lower Barrack Road and the Flat Brook is fair condition. Under Mountain Road, over the Wangum Lake Brook is in fair condition. Water Street over the Houstonic River is in good condition. Canyon Mountain Road over Wangum Lake Brook in fair condition. So,
What was the second one?
the second one is Lower Barracks Road, Flat Brook. I can make a copy of this.
I think we just attach them to the.
We can attach it to the minutes now.
Okay. The town is advised to engage in services of a professional engineering firm immediately for bridge number 05193, which is, the poor one over the Hollenbeck River. Cobble Road, which is rated poor. The action is required so that any, plans necessary for the rehabilitation or replacement of the structure can be prepared prior to the bridge degrading further and jeopardizing the safety of the traveling public. The department is in the process of performing a load rating analysis on this bridge, because some of the areas of the steel beams have heavy rust, that has reduced in strength. The bridge will require load restriction and the town will be notified. If a reduction in strength, the bridge will be, required a load reduction, the town will be notified. For information concerning the possible funding assistance, blah, blah, blah. And we'll look into that. Bridge number 05659. Which is, Water Street, is, Canyon Mountain Road over Wangum Lake Brook. Is rated scour critical, based on analysis done as part of the department's bridge scour evaluation program. A copy of the scour evaluation report was previously sent to the town. During the high river flow events, it is possible that the soil supporting the structure will be eroded, undermining the structure and making it unstable. The department's bridge safety and evaluation section will check for scour during a routine biennial bridge inspections. However, the town should monitor for scour during the following high river flows. Towns should be prepared to take whatever actions are necessary to ensure the safety of the public up and including, closure of the structure. It is recommended that the town engage in services of a professional engineering firm to determine the best course of action at this structure. Bridge 5196, is located between the town of Salisbury, and that one's in pretty good shape.
It better be.
Yeah. We just closed out that account.
Well, I guess,
so the Mountain Road is the switchback one?
yeah, just below, well, that's a good question. Is it the one at Terry's or is it the one down below?
One
where
at
the-
top-
who had
up
all
the
this?
one
below, the one by Terry's is a pipe.
Yeah,
Yeah, right, yeah.
So,
Now, the cobble over, Hollenbeck, we've already started the permitting process, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes.
With Cardinal?
As a matter of fact, I had a call into them. I have not received a call back. I'll be contacting them again tomorrow. I saw Chris earlier today and we had spoken about it. So we're still in that permitting process.
And that's, I believe that was, 100% funding.
Correct, that was hundred percent federal. And I think, I know you have the book there, Steve. I don't have it available to me right at the moment, but I don't think there's anything new from this particular report that isn't included in that report that's been done. As a matter of fact, I think, and you would probably remember, Tim, that's probably the same report looking at what they're talking about. They haven't changed in their evaluation of those structures.
Well, the only action that we gave was just to pay the bill, right?
The last action,
Yeah.
the last action we actually took was to pay for a permitting process for that.
Right.
For that bridge.
was that for that bridge or for that for the culvert?
No, the culvert we had taken care of already. We, the last one we did, okay, which was, and I don't remember, but it was around, I wanna say $1,500 was somewhere in there, was for the permitting process. For us to go forward with the, bridge itself, the bridge structure, not culvert, but the bridge.
Now, this inspection in this book was done in, March of 17.
And I don't think it's changed, has it?
I
Some
don't
of
know, I
these.
haven't.
Yeah.
If
If we just match them up later on, but I don't think it's.
And those years, it must have,
23.
it must have degraded some,
So, that's 4 years, right, or 4 cycles.
yeah.
Tim, are you, I guess, monitor the scouring up there? Do you know anything about that? What they're talking about here on that bridge?
On the Wangum Lake Brook at, Canaan Mountain Road.
Yeah, it would
That's
be-
the one that I think had a scour note on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're worried that it's gonna start undermining the footing of the bridge abutment.
That's the one where you have the nice wood side rails there on the corner?
That's a wooden bridge, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
by Hewitt's.
Before,
It's on-
yeah, it's on the way up.
So me driving by, I think I saw some failure in concrete too.
Crack in it.
Yeah.
They built a new bridge there. Florian Palmer put it in.
I remember that, this one.
Yeah, probably around 1990,
Yeah, cause
probably
he
in that
was,
report.
he was at the town at that time.
I think it has a 30-year warranty on it.
Oh.
What year are
But
we at?
they put it on the old, they put that on the old abutments. They were not new abutments.
That does have a restriction on the weight restriction, I believe.
It
I don't know.
does not. There's a sign there.
It's listed, cause I,
It'll tell you in that report.
yeah, well, I've tried to get, for a project several years ago up there for Yale. And it's on the state list for restricted weight.
It says on the
Because,
report,
Sagala
You'll see it on
and
there.
Sagala and Lowbrook wouldn't go over it. They had to come in from the other side.
Pete Lawson put a sign up there years ago.
No, I know, it's same as down here.
No, that one's regulated by the state bridge inspection.
Well, it's
The load limit, there was no limit on this bridge up there,
oh, really?
but Pete Lawson put a load limit sign on it because he didn't want the big log trucks coming over and damaging the bridge. Cause they had done that a couple of times.
But the bridge deck's not the problem, it's a scour from the river,
Right.
so it needs a riprap, or it needs
So-
somebody to come look at it.
Yeah, they told me a few years ago, just to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't get worse.
Not to take any action.
But that was a few years ago, obviously this is a new address.
Well, it's still there, it's still basically the same. I mean, that's the way the brook comes and it comes against the wall and the wall kind of pushes it over and it scours a little bit there.
What's a sequence of events to be able to take action if you see it fit?
I
They,
think if
they
you,
said to put stone against it if you saw it.
I think if you see anything happening, you should fix it. I mean, if you get scouring,
Start.
get stone in there.
So that
So-
that should be on something to do.
So do you have to hire an engineer to?
Yeah, I was just
Put
gonna
stone
say,
in the
we,
brook.
you know, we probably should,
Sergey, what do you think?
Take a look, Sergey.
I don't even know which bridge you're talking about.
If you're going up the Canaan Mountain towards Rustling Wind Stables,
Picture of it.
Oh, okay, up
towards the
top, yeah.
Norfolk Reservoir up there, there's
Okay.
that switchback bridge.
It's a stream that flows underneath and flows along.
Down near the bottom.
It's like
About
quarter
halfway
of the
up.
way up.
It's halfway, yeah.
That one's called what? Switchback?
No, what's that one called? Bridge number 567
Yeah, it's, they just
42
give them
like?
a number. It's a,
Mhm.
it's a brook and the
oh,
water,
56, 59.
water in the road.
Oh, 56, 59.
Wangum Lake Brook.
Yeah.
Bridge.
So there's another Wangum Lake Brook Bridge that's on Under Mountain Road also.
Down the bottom.
Yes.
So we gotta
Well,
make
yeah,
sure we
there's
say
another one
Canaan
up the
Mountain.
road. Well,
Canaan Mountain Road.
Yeah, Terry's,
That's a big pipe, yeah.
yeah.
So the pipes and the culverts are listed differently than, a bridge has to be 20 feet long, I believe. For this inspection, the state inspection. And I think that wooden bridge. Right there on Canaan Mountain Road, I think it's 21 feet long or something like that. It'll tell you in that report.
Yeah, I was just looking at it, bridges that are over 20 feet.
The bridge on Cobble Road,
This
the
is
one that
satisfactory.
we're trying to get the permits for, that one's like 80 feet long. It's got two
Is it really?
supports. Yeah,
Wow.
there's two supports,
Yeah.
not supports in that.
The, okay, so back to this one, the scouring, what do you think, what should we recommend? What kind of action?
A site visit.
Huh?
A site visit.
It tells you in the report, it recommends, I believe.
Oh, you can see it in the picture right here.
In 2017. I think it needs a site visit from Tim.
Well, they inspect those, the state inspects those, I think, every 5 years. Unless they're,
Well, it says biennial.
unless they're starting to, lower
Check
the
them
load
out.
rating on them. Like the Amesville Bridge used to be, they got, so they were inspecting that one every year.
Mhm.
And then they finally came and said, shut it down.
So what about a little preemptive maintenance to go up and do a site visit and see
Yeah,
if it's
maybe,
in the budget?
maybe we could get a hold of, the department's bridge scour evaluation, leader. Maybe he could come on and talk to us.
Right?
So I'm a little confused. So this letter though, they're indicating they already looked at it. So, but it's not an inspection, it's just they looked at it?
Well, I think it's,
There's no recommendation in there.
let me read it again. The
This-
bridge number 05659 is rated scour critical based on an analysis done in part of the department's bridge scour evaluation program. A copy of the scour evaluation report was previously sent to the town. During high river events, it is possible that the soil supporting the structure will be eroded, undermining the structure and making it unstable. The department's bridge safety evaluation section will check for scour during its routine biennial bridge inspections. So that's every other year. So if
They
in
stay-
that book was 2017, they've done,
They-
several since then.
So that they're
So
saying,
that's the state inspector. This one was done by Cardinal Engineering.
Mhm.
Okay, so,
So somewhere there's a letter within the last 18 months
That
that told
I have
us that we should have
right.
done something already.
No, I have not seen the letter, but okay,
Or
They
the report- the
email,
report
it.
should
They
be
usually
from others.
email the reports.
right. I have not seen that report, but I will seek that report out to see where it is in the last
Is there-
18 months.
Now in this, it says, it shows,
A recommendation,
it says there's minor scour now,
Let me
and
just
that
see
was in
that.
2017.
Yeah,
but nobody provides a recommendation.
Well, they're a third party person, well,
It's
Right,
inspect- I mean, we're supposed to
we're supposed to do something,
do
if you get
something.
that.
It
You
said
paid
crit-
for all
it
that
said
money to do
critical.
it, you didn't do nothing.
I mean, one term was critical,
yeah.
so
Well, I
what's
guess
wrong
like-
with the common sense of going up and having a,
It said overall
visit.
condition was fair back then, so.
I guess what I would want to avoid is, without some kind of guidance, just going up there dumping riprap and doing stuff.
no, but just looking, yeah, and get it.
It might not,
Approach from them,
right, I would prefer to have
state engineer.
an engineer, somebody to tell us what we need to do to fix it, and then we can do it. And,
That's probably the proper course.
right,
And who would that be?
It says right here in his.
well, there's the state, I'm not sure he would guide us through the process.
He'd make recommendations, so.
He might be able to make recommendations, or we go with someone
They,
like Cardinal.
that's why we got involved with Cardinal,
Okay,
because of the state recommendations.
Mhm.
Okay, so,
And the Cardinal, was at the COG meetings. And, they said they would evaluate the bridge and help us with recommendations, and they're written in there. So I was trying to get you to look up for that bridge.
so there's already,
recommendations.
Yes, there's recommendations in there for, and they show that it had been scouring and there is cracking in the foundation back then.
okay,
But
so,
they don't call out specifics, what 6 to 8 inch minus, or
No.
they don't call specifically what should be done, that's what you need to find out.
yeah,
Is what materials should be put in place. You know, what depths and quantity and whatever.
so how do we do that, Dave?
Well, I have a question first. Does the state cost us money? To ask for information from them?
It won't
Obviously
cost-
Cardinal, you would have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus,
And Cardinal would probably refer back to the report that they've given us already. It would probably be most advantageous to reach out to the particular department here and ask them what we can find. Give me, again, I did not look for that particular, I didn't find it in a file, that particular, report on that bridge. Let me see if I can find it through the stacks of email that's in there. And, because that kind of, I remember us talking about it when we got that, but I don't remember that specific bridge and that specific, recommendation as to what was supposed to happen. And I can say that I haven't seen, a report on it since I've been sitting at that computer, but I'll see if I can find one.
Okay, in the meantime, I can reach out to the state.
I think that would be probably the most prudent course to take, because they would, based on the letter. So,
I have all the old reports. I don't know if I have this most recent one,
yeah,
a copy of them, I should say. Pat has had them in here before.
yeah, I couldn't find, but
Henry.
for this particular one.
Okay.
I didn't find one in a file, let me put it that way. It may still exist in the email somewhere.
All right, then if they, in the event that, the state just agrees, oh yeah, that's what we told you, and, we can come out and show you. I probably would be reluctant to believe that they would wanna chime in on how to fix it. But they might, but I would doubt it. They'd probably tell us to
Get an engineer.
get an engineer and figure out how to do it.
But at least then at that point in time, we know that the state won't render us any
Yeah,
assistance,
okay.
and
All right,
then we just
we'll
move
take it.
on from there and say, okay, we need to get a
Yeah,
proper Cardinal Engineering.
Yeah, yeah.
The ones, and they've already given a recommendation, so.
Okay,
So I motion that Chris calls these guys and finds out what they wanna tell us.
I'll second it. All
As
right,
far as the other bridge, you say you went out for permit, do we already hire an engineer to design, do something, repair?
Cardinal,
well, what happens is the state, it's gonna be, you're talking about Cabo Road Bridge?
Yeah,
I believe, because of the width, it's gonna be federally funded. And if we let them do it, it'll be 100%, but they come with their engineers,
that's fine.
mhm.
and we have no say in.
But it's in process to what that letter says you're supposed to be doing something.
Yes, we are.
That's all that matters.
That's why I'm curious why they haven't got that,
Well, they don't, I guess they don't know where we are with the permitting process.
yeah,
That we-
so they haven't received anything then.
What we've received one, permit from DEDP regarding the waters and so on and so forth. They were waiting for a second one. And that was about a month ago when they were reached out and said they were still waiting for a second permit.
I guess, can we, can you,
I'll follow up with Cardin.
or I was gonna say, follow up with these people, just tell them, you know, maybe showing proof of the first permit,
Application for.
application, and maybe that would be enough to.
So this report here also has all the pipes and it's not just the 20-foot or longer bridges.
No, yeah, it's got, under 20 foot, over 20 foot.
What is that report?
That's a report that, well, the town hired Cardinal Engineering, went back in 2016 or something. I guess their report was done in 17, correct?
Yes.
So they, went through and analyzed, did like a follow-up from the state. The state gave us a report card on the status of all the bridges in town, bridges and culverts. And, I guess the town hired Cardinal to go
Was there
through
a
and
recommendation?
yeah, give us recommendations on how to address any deficiencies and kind of follow up.
Is it on a regular basis or just as we see fit to do that?
Yeah, that was a one-time, that report was a one-time deal. We do have them,
How come it
on,
wasn't done?
they drew up some contract documents for, for a culvert on Cobble Road. And I think they're
How
in
do
the
you do
queue
it?
for,
Who does it?
the bridge
What do you
over,
put in there?
the
It
Holland.
says rip rap.
That's on Cobble Road, those are the two
That
that
hard.
we're focusing on now.
No, does it show
Is that
you where it
correct?
needs to
That's pretty
go?
much the
That's
assessment, right,
So
so,
you could do a follow-up and have them come out with that. I've seen they place their recommendation there.
but we can look at that again, we can look at that some more.
They
And,
paid all that money for this, they tell you what to do, just hadn't asked for more detail on it.
So if the recommendation is to go look at it.
Well, it
It's
says right
17.
there to repair it.
I understand, but it's 17, so
Oh.
at least there should be a site visit to look at it to find out what to do. Right, something. Otherwise Norm's gonna be pissed when they shut the bridge off.
amount of water we've had in the last 5 years, I don't imagine it got any better
yeah,
No.
coming down off that mountain.
So could we, as a committee, what are we supposed to suggest?
okay, well, let's see, we can. Item number 8 is a list of assets discussion, we can break that down and, break down the list of assets here and, we'll come up with a plan and go up there and see that.
Yeah.
Wanna do that?
I would say it should be on the list, don't you?
Sure. Okay. Next item. Discussion, the condition of the roof on 107 Main Street. And, Tim and I went up there, a couple weeks ago, right, Tim, after there was some snow, heavy snow on the roof and we had a lot of rain. And we found one spot where there was, water had made its way through the roof, there was standing water and some insulation up there, blown in insulation. I think it's, having found that water, it's critical that we, make a recommendation to address it. And I wish, Jake were here because I talked to Dave earlier about it. I think what we need to do is, find somebody that can go up there and tell us what we need to do. And then we can put out an RFP and, or put it out to bid or what, you know, what happens then. there's, the roof was new, what, 15 years ago, I think, did you say, Tim, maybe, was it 15?
I think somewhere around that time.
Yeah, I think so, 15 or 20 probably.
Yeah, and,
And painted it too, I'm trying to remember. Is it that long?
then we decided, we looked at, that, eyebrow, half round dormer up there, and it appears that's where it's leaking. And whether it's not flashed correctly, or maybe he never did anything with that. If you're outside and look up there, it looks like it's, like that section is made out of metal, not asphalt. So I don't know if, without going up there, but I think we need to find somebody that can go up there and take a close look at it, that can guide us, a little better.
So you're looking to have Jake do that, or?
Well, Jake, I was looking to talk to Jake about it, and maybe he could send us in the right direction. I guess like I was telling Dave earlier, I'm weary of, I'm not convinced that hiring, or not even hiring, asking a professional roofer, that's a project to get up there, and, to take some time and go up there and look at it and tell us what he thinks, then we put it out to bid. Or we just have to bite the bullet and find somebody and hire them and go up and do it. I don't know how that would work.
But you still
Well-
have to do an RFP, okay,
Yeah.
no matter what. And you might be able to get in 3 different, contractors and have them look at it and give you their idea. The thought was that we had discussed earlier is if we had someone who was on this particular board, on this committee, could go up there and just give us a little bit of, who had a little bit of background, could go up there and take a look at it and say, look, it's this, and this. I mean, I have to admit myself that if I had a leak in my roof, I'd be able to figure it out. That roof, I wouldn't be able to figure out. So, just like to see perhaps one of our local contractors, and perhaps one who would be a member of this board to get up, I shouldn't say board, this committee, to go up there, just take a look-see at it and kind of give us a quick overview of what they saw. Then when we go out for an RFP, we have a little bit better idea, because someone's given us a little bit of an idea what we might need. So that was my thinking.
So-
Or we can go right to RFP and have 3 different companies come in and look at it and tell us what we need.
Well, that's what we have done with the Historical Society.
Mhm.
So the roofing bidders come out, look at it, and then give you a quote.
Right. But I think this is, just at the outset, Judy, I'm thinking this is a little bit more complicated than, not that the depot wasn't complicated.
No, I'm talking like with the meeting house, because
Right.
there was a lot around the steeple and
You-
things like that.
Who was the contractor that you used for that? Because
That's
that's,
the one I sent to,
Yeah,
yeah,
South
they're
Korea.
phenomenal. They're the ones that just did the steeple in Norfolk,
oh, wow.
and they're reasonable.
So perhaps after this meeting, we'll get together with that, and maybe we'll just contact them initially and see what.
They're really,
Yeah.
really good.
Okay, I think we'll save
Jake
their-
did at the depot.
I think we'll save their, information until after the meeting, and
Yeah.
we'll share it, and
Uh,
we'll see.
okay, Dave asked me to put, the solar array discussion on our agenda. And an idea that maybe forming a subcommittee to look at that. So any takers, anybody wanna?
I thought we weren't gonna bother with that anymore.
What we had said is we would have a few people, we're not going to bother with the one that we have right now.
Okay,
Okay, and what was decided at the Board of Finance, we weren't going to go with this particular deal, but what we
Okay.
thought we do like Sharon just did, and I believe they did a 1 or a 2 year study, putting everything together. I believe there's still a lot of people, Steve, who believe that it's a good idea. The question is, where do we go? And as you heard me say at the Board of Selectmen meetings, do we go with buying? Do we go with leasing? Do we go with this? Do we go that? Where do we go? Do we look at specific buildings? Do we look at a solar farm? So I thought if we, and we had discussed this with the other, I had with the other two selectmen, is if we take a subcommittee, and it's one of the things I said at the Board of Selectmen meeting, if we were to charge a subcommittee here, and I have three people who have expressed interest already, who could study this over a period of time and give us
Mhm.
all the possible ways in which we might be able to do it. And then again, ultimately, at the end, it may be something that we won't do, but at least we can say that we had a subcommittee look into it
Yeah.
and, you know, give us something.
Yeah, I remember you saying it now. It's, I think, I believe Carl Munson said he was interested.
Yeah.
Carl Munson and I have, but I think first you need something from this
Yes.
committee saying that they would charge a subcommittee, a working subcommittee, and then we will look probably at the next meeting and putting people on it. I've already reached out to three people, or I should say, three people have reached out to me who are interested in becoming, and Carl Munson being the fourth, and I think that would be large enough for a subcommittee to be looking into it.
Okay, so do we take a motion to
Form this
to
subcommittee.
form a subcommittee
I move.
To study.
to study the solar
Solar
array
options.
at, yeah, the options, I guess, at, let's just say town-owned property.
Okay, so I moved.
A second,
A second.
all in favor,
Right.
Eyes have it.
opposed? All in favor. Okay, the list of assets. And, we need to,
It's considered an asset.
well, it's everything town-owned property, town-owned buildings, town-owned, roads, bridges,
Cemeteries.
cemeteries, non-municipal buildings, the
All this stuff,
library,
okay.
Yes.
uh, Center on Main. Anything we have a vested interest in. And, so,
Center on Main, I don't think we own that.
We don't, that was non-municipal buildings that we were,
So
Talking
daycare,
about-
the daycare is town owned?
yes.
so I guess we should, we need to look at breaking our group down a little even further to, start looking at some of these things on here. And I don't know how, the best way to do it, I guess, if we know of any, problems or potential issues, I'll take the school, for instance, maybe we should talk to Bill Beebe about that, he knows the most there, I think.
You still have a building committee, a standing building committee at the school, so you probably approach the building committee of, I believe Bill's a member of that.
Okay. Do we have any other building committees or any other?
No.
Just,
Just for the school.
okay, so,
What do we do about the issues like the salt shed that's already been talked about and money saved up? Is that a
well, I
priority
think
or?
if you look at the finance report about that, it says, when the state mandates it. Right, as that was, I think was, somewhere that I see that, it was, the money was earmarked, right? And there's a, and I don't,
What do you know, Tim?
what do you know, Tim?
It was before me.
Well, the last time we were in this meeting, there was talk about that whole salt shed thing, right? I thought
I mean,
I
as
thought
far
that
as the
David,
state mandating it, I don't know.
The state mandated it years ago, but they haven't
acted on it.
enforced
Right.
it. So we were just kind of sitting back until that happened. But,
And they were happy as long as we were putting money aside to build one,
right.
cause that meant we were working towards it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I guess
And I-
that'll be the
I
status
believe
quo.
there still is a little bit of money going aside for it.
And we'll be looking at that again during the budget
Budget,
season.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple other things too, is a wash pad or a
Yes.
water separator, right?
Oil, water separator, is that
I mean,
for,
do you wanna be able to wash equipment and stuff up there? So, I mean, there's that type of thing, that's what we need to identify. And put it on a list, so.
So I think you need to take a public works evaluation,
Yeah,
everything inclusive,
yeah,
the building, the wash pad, how they handle their environmentals completely.
right. You wanna work with Tim on that?
Okay.
Uh. Okay, so this is, this is what what I was hoping to do here was, take some of these places or some of the things on here and, divvy them up so
Mhm.
that, so we know, we can get some more input.
If I remember from the last meeting, a hot button we kept talking about was bulky waste, and somebody was supposed to look into where we stand and where.
Tim can tell you where we stand right now, and that was part of the reason that we raised the rates on the bulky waste.
You mean as far as how long before we have to close the
Right,
bulky
right.
waste?
How to
Yeah, 'cause
quote,
that was gonna be a
right,
big
so,
money thing, you're gonna have to redo the whole place or add buildings or whatever.
More than likely, I would say, Lee, at this point in time, the way things are looking, and there's a number of moving parts here right now with Mirror, to say the least. I think bulky waste is going to become a big problem to where we are going to have to actually ship out bulky waste. We
Yes,
will have nowhere to put bulky waste, which means that the transfer station, we're going to have to somehow expand. But again, there are still a number of moving parts with Mirror. Mirror sunsets between 26 and 27. So, but the statutory, so.
Also the wood chip pile.
the wood chip pile. I have a little, I had a discussion with Bob Jack here about that. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I'm hoping that we get some kind of movement there, to get some of it out of there anyways.
So who are we gonna put on for transfer station then?
I'll take a look at it.
Steve, Tim?
Sure.
Tim's getting involved in all these.
I guess I could be on that too, if you want.
There's
What
maps of
condition
that.
are the wood chips in that pile? Could they be used for anything else or the, just,
Well, it's a pile that's been added to for the last 10 years.
Unregulated,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
just dumps
Yeah,
whatever.
longer than that.
Yeah.
It's really taken off, since I've been watching it, geez, Fred was still alive, so, but it's grown considerably and
Cause it costs money to dump them.
because it costs money to dump them and it's kind of open. We never, kind of took control of it, so, a lot of the chips that I think were put there were generated from out of town, that's my assessment, and, that's really, kind of my driving, distaste for the way it was operated, but that's water over the dam, I think we're under the same assessment now that, it's gotta stop and we're working towards that, putting an end to it.
I was just wondering if there's something else that they could be used for, like, are they rotting or? could
Yeah,
they be
they're
used for alternative energy or anything
different-
like that?
Yeah, you really probably couldn't use them for energy, cause they're, when you dig into their energy, the people that want chips for energy are really fussy about it. They want pure, chips,
Mm.
not mixed with, twigs.
Screened and dried.
Yeah, leaves and,
They want hardwoods.
yeah, hardwood, so there's, you could use it for mulch, you know,
Except it's full of weeds.
And poison ivy.
and, yeah, but you could still use it for mulch, you know, other than that, I don't know what you could, you know, really, some guys use it to, you know, put in muddy holes and
But it's-
stuff.
yeah. Just a bad-
Done that.
It's a bad, it's not a nice presentation when you drive into our pool or our recreation area
Yeah,
or our
Nice.
transfer station.
Yeah.
So to try to do something with it, nobody's gonna expend any money for them.
Right.
No,
It's
I've
not a
talked,
marketable,
I've talked to Tommy Whalen about it, and he said he'll take them, but he doesn't wanna pay for trucking.
yeah,
There you go.
where's he?
So there's a place.
Behind Berkshire Jam,
Oh, yeah, right, yep.
yeah, he
Yep.
grinds them up and makes mulch out of them.
Yeah.
I imagine, somebody like New England Bark Mulch would be the same thing. I've been down to their complex, but nobody's gonna wanna,
Nobody
gonna
wants to
wanna get
talk, that's
paid.
where the money's
Is there a
at.
town property somewhere down by the gravel bank anywhere you could build another berm?
Well,
Just to save on trucking and then they could sit there and do whatever. I don't know.
Well, let's,
Let's see what-
let me,
Cricket or Bobby does.
yeah, let's see what
Because if we
Bobby,
could get them-
can do with it,
I'm
and
not
if
supposed
he
to
can help
dump
us out
down
at
there.
all, and then
Ah,
if he can take half of it, that'd be a good start, so.
Just spread them around his cornfield up there.
Well, I think they use it for the carbon, to kick their,
so should I put you under transfer station too?
sure,
transfer station includes chips.
Yeah.
Uh,
both.
um,
What, we skipped over the
Hold on.
108 and 107 building.
actually, the, on the transfer
Yeah,
station
yeah.
permit, that wood chip pile's not,
No, it's.
oh, okay.
that's actually separate.
But
Is it
It's
with
on the outside of the fence.
I know,
is it
but
just,
can we just include that whole,
I guess you could, but I just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
part of the transfer station.
it's actually, we actually should probably include that with the rec center.
okay,
I think the rec center would benefit the most out of
I
dealing
wonder if you
with
could
it.
use the chips to use it
With the
as cover
chips.
for the bulky waste.
No, you could try, but I don't think they would let that. The last time, I mean, I never actually, had to put a cap over the bulky waste like Fred did. They capped one. And he said that they had to use, it had to be a
Plywood.
certified material.
I know for the end result, but while you're building and packing and building and packing, no?
I guess you
I
could.
don't know.
I think it would be too soft and move too much.
When, how much more life do you think we get out of that bulky waste pile?
I'm not sure, because I don't know how, I guess, is there a limit on how high you can go? How high a mountain you wanna build?
Yeah, I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah, I am too. But, there are maps for that, and we could start there because it may clarify it on those maps.
Yeah, I'll get together with you, whatever you want, and we can look at the maps and.
You have those maps, Tim, because I think,
I think you're in. on the
yeah,
wall
there
in
is, there is I was gonna say there's a copy of the maps in there or a file. So,
107 and 108, do you want to group them together?
Yeah, we can group them together, and I'll look at the,
You wanna be on
I
that?
already started with the leaky roof over there, so.
and I'll work that with, Chris,
Okay,
those two buildings.
Anybody else wanna be part of that? I mean, I can.
I
do
don't really think you need
it. Okay,
much more than that. Take our own.
all town of Canaan roadways. Roads and signage. And guide rails.
yeah, Tim's the,
Tim's gonna be on a lot of these.
There's already budgets
Mhm.
for most of that.
Which, we're in good shape, relatively good shape. The bridges are the only things that aren't.
That's not much of a budget for the bridges.
Right. No, there is no,
But, they started that a while ago, so that's getting better.
Right.
It's just that we wound up using most of that money for engineering since we started that
yes.
fund, so.
Is there a sequence of events for so many feet of blacktop every year?
We try to do about a mile.
That's explosive.
It's,
Anybody else wanna be on that road signage guide route?
I'll join him.
I'll be on the signage for the town hall signage.
Yeah.
what do you mean by signage? I guess it's, you mean like the road signs?
Yeah, I think that's what we were looking at, and we're in pretty good
Street
shape.
signs, stuff like that,
Yeah,
stop
well,
signs?
yeah, I guess that was.
I think I just brought it up for this sign out here.
Yeah. I just assumed that was part of it,
The signage here?
yeah.
No, that would be under the 107, 108. I think.
Okay.
I think when we talk about or rails and signage, we're talking about
Street
road
signs.
signs.
Road signs.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Okay.
cause,
Yeah.
Weight limit
we
sign.
mentioned guardrails and,
Right.
somebody threw in sign.
Right.
I'm looking at that like,
Ring a bell move.
Bob Dennis always said if there's no weight limit sign, it's
It's
anything you want.
Run it.
If it fits, it ships.
If it goes through the covered bridge, it's okay.
So, Dusty, did you wanna be on that too, or no? The road one?
Sure. I'd like to address the decommissioning of the old town pool is what I'd like to address.
Yeah, we'll get to that one, cause that's coming up at
That's
the
what
daycare.
daycare center.
So then we have, the bridges.
Yeah, I think the whole committee
Is on the
could
bridges.
focus on that.
Okay. Cemeteries, I'll do that. Anybody else?
I'll give you a hand, Judy, on that one.
What's that? Will that include the one over at Chubby Bunny Farm? That's not actually a town
I
cemetery.
know, but the
But it
town,
falls back on us to maintain it.
yeah, the
Yeah,
town
down the
was
middle of the field.
given money to
Yeah.
maintain it, so. I guess,
We're giving money for that?
yeah, from Shrinks years ago.
Oh,
I don't know whatever happened to that.
Let me look in, we'll have to look in the budget because I don't recall seeing where
Yeah,
that.
I got it in records down at the Historical Society. when that was-
Just as an aside, we are lacking sextons for cemeteries.
So we'll have to see if.
So that would be something we'd look into, and then if we were able to get sextons for the cemeteries, and they would be on that, the committee.
Yeah.
Would alleviate some of us being on that.
Tree warden too.
Hmm,
I guess I'm the tree warden.
Right now you are.
Okay,
so
I had
sidewalk,
to go take a tree warden class
Did you do that?
for the town. Yeah,
do you wanna do it?
sure. I mean, I've been doing it.
Okay,
I guess the issue beforehand was always a liability for a tree warden. I think that's what Jody said why he gave it up. But if it's a town employee, I would.
The
think that-
liability falls back.
Yeah. Is that,
So it would appear,
no, I just threw it out there. so-
I know, maybe that comes under the roadways because it'd be,
Yeah, yeah.
so we have sidewalks. I can do that,
Yeah, I'll work with you.
Chris.
What about the budget for another town employee?
Would that be new sidewalks?
Well, I
Or
think it's,
maintaining existing ones or what?
existing sidewalks,
And maybe new sidewalks down,
Yeah.
we look at the whole picture, I
this
guess.
is probably the time to share it. I was gonna put it under, but we don't have any new business here. I think I told Tim this morning, and I know I saw Chris this morning and told him I didn't see you yet, Judy. The first round of trips.
Yeah,
We did not make the first round. There's a second round coming. The date has not been announced yet. And I have no rhyme or reason why they were given out the way they were. Sharon, Salisbury and Cornwall
Heard
received
that.
theirs. I can tell you that all of their projects were over $1 million.
so
The
more
one that we put forth, that Greg Marlowe and I put together, was less than 1 million, so maybe the less than 1 million will come in the second round. But we have been told again by Northwest Hills Cog that we are in the running. So,
So the trips is Connecticut or, I mean, it's sponsored by Connecticut?
Yeah, this is, the governor just signed it, and again, not to belabor in respect to everyone's time this evening. The long and the short of it is, they held on to the money until after the election.
Okay.
We didn't know when it was supposed to be dispersed. We put in for it, what, Tim, you kind of remember when Greg and I were sitting down here and we were talking to you, that was
For the
over a year
sidewalks?
ago. That we put in for it, and it was coming, and then they decided to hold on until after the elections and after the holidays and everything. And it was just last week that Governor Lamont actually signed it, and the first disbursements are going out. And there's gonna be a second round, but they didn't announce the date for the second round.
So, you mean they applied to put in new sidewalks on different streets?
Right,
I-
right. So,
Yeah, I actually never was part of that.
no, you weren't, but you.
Would you like to be part of this?
Well, yeah, I probably should,
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah.
Okay, so then we got the town pool and building.
Didn't know much
I don't mind being on that.
That would probably be coupled with the rec center. I would help you with that. The rec center, right now, we're exploring a grant for some things at the rec center.
Yeah, let's group those two together.
Okay. And so who else wants to be on that?
I'll be on that with you.
Steve,
Yeah, I'll work with you.
Chris, okay,
Throw me down if I can help.
Dusty,
So what we're establishing is working groups, not committees, not subcommittees here.
Right,
just
just,
working,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we can all,
Try to address some of this
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah.
Daycare center is Dusty.
Well, I don't know about the building, but I've looked into the decommissioning of the pool before
Okay.
and,
I'll look at that with you.
excuse me?
I said I'll do
Yeah.
it with you.
And you may,
And we're good.
again, you may wanna check, I am not sure if they have a standing building committee for the daycare center, so you may just wanna reach out to Pat McCare and ask if they do have it, because I really don't know. So you could sort of liaison with them, with the building committee.
I believe didn't they have an issue with their septic system there for a while?
I
It
just
get
remember
flooded.
the issue they had with the latest issue they had was with the roof.
Yeah,
That's the latest, and if you remember, we contributed some ARPA funds to have that.
yeah, there's water coming in on the slab, and then there's also issue with pump chamber getting
Yeah.
water in it.
Yeah, I
know
don't,
it's supposed to.
I don't
It's
recall
wet.
that one, but, you know, I know the roof, that was the latest I dealt with.
The non-municipal buildings, maybe we can,
There's also one other town building that we didn't do, is BB Schoolhouse,
oh, okay,
which I can do.
all right.
The store.
The non-municipal buildings, I think we just let those ride until we hear of something.
Yeah.
If we can help out, we can. If, we'll have to, I guess,
Like the firehouse, they have their own building committee, so they keep on top of stuff. Meeting house, we do too.
So I guess I have a question about, for instance, the old swimming pool. Where would the money come from to,
Remediate that?
yeah,
I'm not sure, Tim, to give you
because
an answer, cause to
maybe
me,
that means we have to start
another line.
Line.
yeah, or something, I don't know, but I guess we gotta figure that out.
Well, my question is, and I don't know the answer to this, okay, is that, is that just taking care of raising the old pool, getting rid of it, so forth, or is that an environmental? Because if it's an environmental, we already have a line item for environmental, concerns, so I don't know where that falls. So it would be worth looking at it and exploring as to where it would fit in.
Might fit in under environmental. 'cause you-
That's what I'm not sure because of what the pool was made of.
Fiberglass.
Right.
asphalt.
Yeah,
asphalt.
Yeah, there's asphalt.
So I really don't have an answer for that, and that's something that we would have to seek out once we look at it, whether or not it would fall under that line.
Can that be left in place?
I don't have an answer for that either. It's been left in place for how many years?
Yeah.
I
15.
Well,
Yeah.
wood chips.
that's what I'm wondering.
It's just gonna keep
Actually,
filling
I'm
up,
wondering if we can mix the wood chips with sand off our,
but it'll
on
just
property.
keep filling up. It's a natural spring fed pond.
Then it'll have pretty rainbow colors going down to the Robin Swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I don't
be
know,
careful.
wood chips aren't really good for much.
Yeah.
Liability, yes, isn't it? I mean,
Well, I mean, it's a natural pond. It was just
Yeah, you can't really
resurfaced.
fill it in. It's gonna,
It's gonna stay a pond.
So the question is, do you remediate by taking out the fiberglass and the asphalt as an environmental concern, or can it stay just the way it is?
who would answer that question?
Well, first we'll take a look at it and then we'll just have to research it.
with proximity to the daycare center too might be an issue.
the state has to make sure the state inspects the daycare center.
Mhm.
And they always make sure that the fence is up so that kids can't wander over to, because it's a water body and at one time they talked about filling in the deep end of the old pool so that it was like 2 feet deep and making a skating pond out of it. So kids could skate there, but I mean, they used to do that over in front of the rec center.
Yeah,
I
we had
remember,
a ice
yeah, my
skating
kids.
rink over there.
in
That
front
was
of the
fun.
daycare, I mean, in
In
the
the
parking
parking
lot.
lot.
Yeah, with a
We
Jersey
used to
Barrier.
flood it.
Yeah, they used to put, they just kind of made a berm out of some limestone and flooded it.
Yeah.
And it was a place to skate.
Yeah.
Jim March did all that.
Yeah,
Is that all part of the same property?
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
yeah.
it's part of which property, the daycare or the
Well, it's
rec
all,
center?
it's
I don't
all,
really know.
it's all town property.
Yeah, it is town
Yeah, it's all
property, yeah.
together.
But I mean, that field over there next to the daycare between Dale Degrees and that's where they had a ball field and, it's usually too wet to do much. Thomas has been mowing it and half the time he can't mow a whole thing.
So the town knows that?
no.
No.
Oh, Tom does it on his own.
I don't know if that's for the rec center or the daycare center. I'm not sure who pays him, but he does it on his own.
Be paid for it.
Daycare comes out of there.
That old ball field he does for them, for,
Well, not always, no, but,
yeah,
because
when
a
he
lot of
can.
times you can't.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But their septic is out there
Okay, so,
in the top of the ball field and it's wet.
okay, anything else, any other discussion on list of, assets?
The one thing that I would say is with, our budget season coming up and us as selectmen, we're going to have to look at this and see how we're gonna commit funds. But I would be in favor if the committee is in favor. Now, I'm an ex officio member here. But I think we discussed this a little bit, is kind of put together a list and prioritize it. Because, and I'm just gonna use this as an example. The leak in the roof over at 107 takes priority
Yes.
over the pool over at the daycare center, and I'm just using that as an
Yeah,
example.
doing more damage.
So I think we really have to look at what we can put our funds into, what is the most pressing issues, getting them taken care of. There's a lot of work, and I don't think I know the reason we originally established this was so that the can doesn't get kicked down the road. We need to maintain these buildings. So how are we gonna best maintain them? And we really have to put together a list of priorities. So we don't get caught with an emergency. Rather, we have budgeted for it. We know it's coming up. We can get on a regular, maintenance schedule, if you will. So there's a lot of issues out here. And again, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, Chris,
No,
you know,
you're,
but to put it this way, but I think we have to look at all those and name our priorities, you know.
Well, not only the priorities, but have some cost analysis.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, now that
Right.
we've got the report from the state, I mean, the bridges are
Right,
That's
so
on
they,
record.
they fall right in there
So
too,
that's a
Yeah,
priority.
right?
Yeah.
So, and again, they're a little bit more expensive than a fixing a roof.
Yes,
so-
they are.
Yeah.
But they are just as important, but the buildings are
pretty
just as
critical.
important also, so I
Right,
think we
right.
just have to kind of balance everything out.
Okay, so.
Should we do that now or wait till after we've looked at it?
I think it's
Well,
well worth, I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, think about, everybody think about, take your list of assets and think about it. If you can stop somewhere, anywhere for a minute and take a look around. And then, we have to identify what the deficiencies are. We're not gonna do that tonight sitting at the table here.
Right.
And then maybe we can prioritize. I was gonna, this is a pretty big charge.
Yeah,
Um,
Judy, what's my name on this? The pool, town
You
pool?
are under, let's see.
Everything.
Let's see.
You're not, what do you got?
Road
Uh,
signage
What
and
is that?
guide rails.
What is that? Leave all
Road
of the above?
signage and guide rails.
Okay,
Oh, that's you.
Everybody's on the bridges. You are also on the rec, the town pool and the rec building, the whole
Cool.
rec center.
yeah,
And
old pool.
daycare and the old pool,
cool.
and that's it. And I'm sure at our next meeting, if Sergey wants to jump in on any of these, we
Yeah,
would love to
Yeah,
help him.
yeah.
Once I get a feel for what's going
Oh,
on.
yeah,
Mhm.
and hopefully Jake.
If I guess the other thing too is if a couple of years, plan on go to the dump and look around or whatever, let everybody know, and if we can go, boy, it'd be great, I think the more people that can see.
Well, it might be better
what's
just to
going on.
set something up and say, hey, we've gathered all the paperwork together on this subject. And that could be addressed at our next meeting and then set a site visit maybe if it's needed. But to like have Tim gather all and Dave gather all the shit that's, the paperwork that's affiliated with this, you're gonna start there first. Right? Just like Steve, the book on this,
Yeah,
that's where you have to
yeah,
start first.
yeah. Sure, yeah, that's a good idea.
So our next step would be, when's our next meeting? And then
Well,
what would
that's,
we like to have prep for it?
we have to set all the next meetings, so,
So it's the first, what's today, Thursday of every month?
yeah, you like that? That work?
Does that work?
5 o'clock?
The first Thursday, let me see.
If you set your meetings now, you won't have any special meetings.
Right, and you don't have to
Regular
cost extra and
meetings.
all that crap.
Well, there may be there may be.
We may have to change them, and there may be special meetings aside from it, but yeah, at least your regularly scheduled meetings.
Okay,
will
let's,
be.
the first Thursday,
First Thursday, so next one will be March 7th.
And we'll have our little to-do things and see what we come up with.
And what time do you wanna do?
I like 5.
yeah, 5 o'clock.
Do you like 5?
That's fine.
Do you like 5?
I get to get out of work early.
Does every,
Yeah,
he likes 5. The eyes have it.
okay.
we need-
Anything,
Do we need a motion on that or?
You need a motion on that and for it to be, and to put together the calendar. So
Okay,
you do. need
I have a motion to do it, first Thursday of every month,
At
5 o'clock
5 PM.
at the town hall.
the town.
second,
Oh, baby.
I got pirate.
okay, anything else? Anybody got anything burning? Okay, got a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Yeah, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Beautiful.
Good job.
Is
Cool.
this a new committee? Or?
Well,
since
sort
we
of.
Actually formed it back
After the
in.
election or?
No, prior to the election, we actually got together, we said,
adjourn.
look at.
Yeah.
Who seconded?
More shit to do.
Really?
No, I